I'm going to continue going through the my very very early, super mega early draft cube. I've already gone through all the trainers, the 2 supporter layers and the 2 item layers, and I've gone through most of one of the Pokemon layers with grass and water, and then I'm going to finish off. Huh?
What about fire?
Yeah, and then there's
Fire comes before water.
right. So there's 24 cards, 8 of each one of these 3 attributes, I'm going to call them. And then, so these are the fire cards. These are the fire lower cards. So I've got a Darumaka. I don't have anything that evolves into in the cube, and a Magmar, and
Darumaka from Dragon Majesty, because I do have the Darmanitan.
no, yeah, right. But right now I'm not putting it in because I'm just testing the decks. Thank you. Yeah. It is the one from Dragon Majesty.
But I only have one Darmanitan.
Yeah, that's fine. We're gonna get more eventually. And then I put in a bunch of Honduras. This is not the best card to put in a cube, but I'll try it.
Yeah, the reason there were so many is because they're really common in Lost Thunder. Like, every 3 packs, there's a Houndour.
Yeah, well, yeah, and here they are. And so the Honduras, I put 6 of them. It says draw a card for each of your Hondur in play. You're gonna want to draft as many as possible. I don't really know how many a single player, when I mock it, will draft. But if there are going to be 4 players, that's how I'm going to try
It
it.
can be up to 4 Houndours, because you can only have 4 of the same card in your deck in Pokemon.
Right, but not when you draft. When you draft, you can play whatever you draft. If you draft all 6 Honduras, you can play them all in your deck. Of course, nobody's going to do that because I'm going to mock it, and I'm going to try to make it as realistic as possible. Okay, so then I'll finish off the layer. The stronger layer has 6 strong fighting cards, and it's got 6 strong fire cards. So it's got 3 of this Victini, okay, and then it's got 3 of this Turtonator. So I don't have anything that evolves from one layer into the other for fire. All right, the Lucarios. Just to finish off that strong layer, I've got 2. But I bought a bunch of foils, a bunch of hollow foils for the early sets from eBay, cheap ones, and I'm using those. Then Sudowoodoos from Guardians Rising, 2 of them. Tried to put in cards that have very interesting abilities as much as possible, and 2 Onyxes from Lost Thunder. And you can see, I think there is a lot of what would you call it, increase in power, right? Power creep. I was searching for that word because this is a 120, 4 hits for 120. Very simple card, and it's a common. This card is a common. Very interesting. All right, so that finishes off one of the strong layers, of which is 1, and then one of the not as strong layers where there's a lot of basics that would normally evolve into something else. And that's the other layer. And then I'm going to work on, in this video, which I think is going to be the final one, I'm going to work on the last 2 layers. So I already showed the how many cards did I have? I had 6, well, what I would call strong fighting cards in this cube. And then the weaker, well, they're not really weak. They're kind of strong too, but I've got only 2 in here for fighting. I've got a Carbink and I've got a Sock. Okay, these are the 2 cards that I have, and this is a what I would call a weak layer, but it's got some strong cards as well. Okay, so the next thing that I did was fairies, and I did it in a very simple way. Okay, really simple fairies in both layers, the stronger layer and the weaker layer. So in the weaker layer, which is this one, I've got 6 Cutieflies, 3 of this type, and I've got 3 of that type. Really by accident, I'm just filling it out because I just want to see, I want to work more in the mechanics than on the specific cards that are in the layer. And then 4 Ribbonbees, and they're different type, they're different kinds. This one is from a different set. Okay. Than these 3, and if you were a collector, of course, these are reverse foils, and these are just plain old hollow foil. This one's a plain old hollow foil. So those are 4. Then when it comes to electrics, I didn't do as many, of course, and so I put in the stronger layer. I've got 2 lanterns that evolve from their stage 1s. I've got 2 Stunfisk, and then when it comes to the weaker layer, I've got a Voltorb, got 2 Togedemaru's from different sets. Just happened to be the ones that I had, and then the 3 Chinchus. So I've got a 3 Chinchus to 2 lanterns from one layer to the other. We'll see how that plays out. Then I went through and just picked special additional Pokemon. Let me see what I did for Psychics. For Psychics in the stronger layer, I had a playset of Survipers from the same set. Okay, just to place it. And then in this weaker layer, I think I have, I'm not sure if it's a weaker layer, but different layer, I should say. I've got 4 others. I've got 2 of this of the Poipole. I've got a Duskull and a Marini. I wanted to have things that cost special ability, special conditions, so special damage conditions. So things that poisoned or confused. I tried to have a sample of those in the cube. Okay, I've put in 2 Gangashkans. These are colorless, so they can go anywhere, and you don't need to worry about energies and whatnot. And I think a cube needs to have a healthy number of cards that are colorless, that don't require any specific energy. There's 2 of these guys in the stronger layer. Got a bunch of Chanseys. Got 6 of them actually, and I think these 3 are from one set from Guardians Rising, and then these other 3 are from, I think it's Lost Thunder. Okay, and then with these 2, I'm going to close out the one of the stronger layers. Rayquaza and a Leaky Tongue. Very simple cards for the cube. Then I can close out the last few cards in the weaker layer. So I have 2 weak layers, 2 strong layers. Got a Pipitpek that you can use it to switch your opponent's active Pokemon, which is a, what was it called? Pokemon Catcher, I think it's called, in the trainer. Then Glamow, one of them. And then the other types that I only had a very small sample. So I have 3 steel types, 2 of the Diglett, and you can search your deck for a basic Pokemon and put it onto your bench and shuffle your deck. That's really nice. Your opponent's active Pokemon is now asleep for this Bronzor. Flip a coin. If heads, your opponent's active Pokemon is now paralyzed. That's nice. And I tried to not have that many cards.
You probably didn't know.
Yeah?
In the Pokemon Trading Card Game, being asleep is the same thing as being paralyzed.
Oh, really?
Same thing.
Same thing. Oh, good to know. Okay, I didn't know that. So I tried.
In the video games, it's actually much different.
It is different in the
Being asleep
3DS.
is a lot worse.
Yeah, I've been playing the 3DS game a lot lately. So
When you're paralyzed, you just have a 30% chance to not be able to attack.
right.
Well, when you're asleep, you can't fight back at all until you wake up.
Yeah. So I tried to have a small number as possible of dragon types that have 2 colors. When the cube gets bigger, I think I'm going to do that, because then that becomes part of the trickery of drafting the cube. But right now, this is the only card that does that. And then 1 Murkrow. And that closes out the cube for now. It's a very small cube for 4 people, 24 packs of 8 cards. So it's got strong layer, weak layer, weak layer, strong layer. So 2 weak, 2 strong layers for Pokemon. It's got 2 supporter layers, and it's got 2 item stadium layers, which there's only 1 stadium, so it's all really items. Okay, I will stop right here.